Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So glad you could join us. Today we are taking out the Tier 9 German battleship, the Friedrich der Große. I think I got that pronounced right. So what are we up against? We've got a couple Missouris, an Ibzimo, Scharnhorst, Baltimore, I'm not worried about him. Fletcher could be dangerous, and the Loyang I'm not too terribly worried about. So, looking at the spawn, I'm gonna be aggressive. So, this ship has been a lot of fun, but it's also been extremely frustrating. The spotting range on it is absolutely abysmal. You'll get seen a mile away, and you can see from looking at it right here that there is just so much superstructure to fire at that cruisers and destroyers absolutely love spamming HE at you. You burn a lot. So if you have the ship or you're about to get it, I highly recommend getting any modules, flags, captain perks that reduce fire duration. You're going to be on fire a lot. Of course, take premium repair. Premium heal also helps a lot. And then for good measure, I use premium hydroacoustic just so I can have it up more often. So again, we're just going to be very aggressive. The ship is not very much unlike the Bismarck or the Tirpitz. Obviously it does not have torpedoes, but like the Bismarck, it does have hydroacoustic search, and it is the German hydroacoustic search, so it sees things from a very long ways away. Here I'm already spotted, so I might as well fire. It's a nice juicy cruiser target. Might as well. I do have the upgraded 420 millimeter shells. Now, there's a lot of debate about it. So it has a slower. Yeah, I tagged him. It has a slower reload than the what is it, the 400 or the 408s or something like that. And then statistically wise, you look at the two, and it really is not a huge difference on the damage per shell, you would think. But I really do find that the 420 millimeter shells really have a lot of penetrating value that just simply aren't there in other ships. So, and here's the nice secondaries. I am not running a manual secondary build. This is actually a brand new captain. I think I've got maybe 10 points on them. So I do have the range upgrade on the secondaries, but that was more so I could get extra anti-air, because it does not have the best air in the world. In fact, I'm not even going to go for a stealth build on this. I'm going to try doing manual secondaries, or I'm sorry, manual AA, because the vast majority of its AA is over 100 millimeter caliber, so it will actually benefit from that greatly. Destroyers are smoked up, and here comes the HE spam. I'm just going to let that one burn, look for other targets of opportunity. There's one of the Missouris in the far back derping around, giving broadside. Doesn't think that I'm going to be able to pay attention to him. So we lobbed some shells over him, but I'm just trying to close the distance here. Now, I'm not a Tirpitz. I don't have torpedoes, nor am I anywhere near as maneuverable as the Tirpitz or Bismarck. However, with the hydroacoustic, I can see all these torpedoes coming a mile away, and I can even spot the Fletcher here in his own smoke. We'll lob a little bit of damage over towards him, and the secondaries are going to open up as well. And he's kind of in a really bad situation. He has launched more torpedoes, but thank you for the hydroacoustic. I see them the moment he fires them. And you can see how slow this thing turns, especially if you're used to playing the Bismarck or the Tirpitz. I mean, this thing just takes forever to turn. But out of that giant wall of torpedoes, I took one, which I'll happily repair now that I saved my repair from the one single. You can see, I mean, being aggressive like this, I've already lost half my life. Now, the game isn't over. I've got a whole bunch of enemies paying attention to me, but I really want to take this Fletcher out, so okay, that will hurt him, and I think I can let my secondaries finish him off, especially considering I have this nice juicy cruiser giving me full broadside right in front of me. The downside to the 420 millimeter guns is they tend to kind of over-pen a lot on cruisers at closer range. Like right there, it's like, if I had been using the smaller caliber shells, I probably would have just one-shot that guy. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Again, more overpens. I mean, you can see on the right-hand side there, it's just nothing but overpens. Where they really shine is against other battleships, and especially it targets a little bit longer range. But the 420s definitely do get the job done. And as slow and as unmaneuverable as this ship is, I seem to be doing a pretty good job at dodging all of these torpedoes. So, you know, I see a lot of these De Grosses just sitting way in the back because they do have decent range on their guns. And very often you get matched in tier 10 games and people are terrified of Yamatos and whatnot. The ship is still very much designed to be a brawler. It has very fast turret traverse. In fact, I use the turret traverse module to make it even faster. Yes, it adds like I think a second and a half or so to my reload. I can live with that. Getting my guns spun around and on target like right here, instead of sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, that's the difference right there. You can't substitute that. Yeah, having your guns reload faster is great and all, but if you can't get those guns on target, well then it didn't really do you any good. And by the time I come back around this corner, I should have my guns reloaded. There we go. And there he is, full broadside still. Let's see what we can do to finish him off. And again, you know, they really do love to overpen, but the other nice thing about that though is when they angle like that, it doesn't matter. Like the guns are so, it's kind of like being in a Yamato, where the guns just penetrate so much that angling really doesn't do you any favors. In fact, full broadside, a lot of times the shells just punch right through the ship and out the back of it. Whereas angled targets will tend to get full penetrating damage, and actually it kind of does them a disservice to try and angle against me. So what's next here? I know there's still that Missouri that's derping around. You can see him on the mini-map there. Yep, there he is. Alright, well, so I'm going to go ahead and start turning my turrets now to my starboard side, because I want to kind of close the distance. He's Missouri, so he has that extra armor head on. However, at close range, because I have turtleback armor like all the German battleships do, he can't citadel me. And at the same time, a Missouri is just kind of a reskin of an Iowa. Oh, hello. Okay, so there's a Lo Yang too. Well, okay, so he sees me, not yet. Okay, hold on. There he goes, yep. Okay, so he's either radar or hydroacoustic. Somebody spot me. So I know there's going to be torps incoming. I'm just going to cut engines real fast and make those torps go by. Yep, there they are. And yeah, those are going to harmlessly go by. In fact, I might just do a tactical beaching here. But anyhow, so the Missouri is a reskinned Iowa. And just like the North Carolina and the Iowa, they have very thin sides. So they can absolutely be citadeled from the side very easily, especially with these massive guns that I have. They don't even have to give me a flat broadside. I can get a pretty decent broadside and still punch right through their armor. But right now, the Lo Yang is the biggest danger. He did just fire one set, so I know he has another set. Oh, he's backing up. What? Okay. So I just dropped about 2/3 of his life on those. And I'm going to kick it into full gear, because I'm sure he launched his torpedoes. Yep, there they are. Power, power, power. Okay, Missouri didn't even scratch me because he's firing into my back. I only took one torpedo, and the secondaries mauled that Lo Yang and finished him off for me. Alright. And got away from the Missouri. Great, okay. So I'm going to round the corner, and how do I want to do this? It's really going to depend on what he does. I mean, worst case scenario is I'm more than willing to ram in this situation. If he's smart, he's going to try and do his little bow on thing at me and start kicking in reverse. And make me expose my broadside first. He definitely has the hit point pool. He's almost full health, and I'm barely half health. Plus my repair is down and my heal is down. So what's he gonna do? He's giving broadside. Right. Okay, so I punished him for that, and he's just gonna keep going. Took a nice little torpedo there. He's gonna take another. No. Okay, so he didn't avoid those. And I'm already turning my turrets. Now you see I overturned them. They're way past where he actually is right now, because as soon as we get side by side here, see how his turrets can't keep up with me? But mine are right on target. Good night. That's just called being outplayed, plain and simple. He complains in the chat. He doesn't understand, and I simply tell him, you can buy a ship, but you can't buy experience or skill. And that really is true. So Friedrich der Große, really good at those close range brawls, but at the same time, sometimes you just need to know what you're doing. And the game ends shortly after that. So how'd we do? Made about 8,000 base XP, 2 kills with our secondaries, 150,000 damage, 7 citadels. I think all of those were on that poor Missouri. Not too shabby. 78 secondary hits. We got 2,000 base XP, led the game, and I'd like to especially point out that those 2 enemy Missouris, both of them at the bottom of the scoreboard. Again, you can buy a ship, but you can't buy skill or experience. 67,000 damage on that Missouri alone. Decent spread, all AP damage. Not too shabby on the secondaries, though I've definitely done better. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you learned something and enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.